Thank you, K-Bomb. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Artist Waves Live. My name is Jeff Gorra. Happy Friday to you all. We're almost there. Another week. So this is episode 32. 32 of these things. And you know what? I've loved all 32 of them. So thanks to everyone who's been tuning into AW Live. My guest today is Mr. David Shaw. David Shaw from the Revivalists. You may know him as the frontman for the Revivalists. Hi in Arizona. Hi everybody. Thanks for joining in. In case you're just tuning in, David Shaw from the Revivalists is going to be joining us shortly. I'm cranking his new music in the background. David has a new solo record coming out. David is, I think in 2021, he's going to release the complete record, but he's already released 2 new tracks that are available now. He released them September 25th. The one you hear now behind me is called Promised Land, and that is the B-side to the single, which is called Shaken. So we're going to talk a little bit of a little solo music, a little David Shaw solo music. Hey, Brett. Hey, Connor. What's up, man? Green Headband gang in the house. David's really one of my favorite people to interview. I've had the privilege of speaking to him a few times over the past few years, and he's such a fun conversation. He's such a down-to-earth guy, great musician, really talented writer, performer. Hi, Holly. And we'll sit tight for a minute until David joins us here, and then we'll talk about his new music, talk about what he's been up to. You may have probably known him best and most from the Revivalists. Any Revivalist fans in the house? I love the Revivalists. David's here. So enough of me talking by myself. Let's get David in the house. Excuse my reach. Here we go. David.
How's it going, man?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you for
Hanging
joining
in
me
there.
today.
It's a wild world we're living in, right?
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
How
You're the one I talked to last time, right?
Yeah, we've spoken a few times. With Artist Waves, and we last spoke in January. I think it was late January after the Muscle Show, right before Muscle Shoals record came out.
Yeah, that was a good time.
We talked offline once a few months ago. I think you were away or something. You were in Utah, and you were like, "I just got this a week later."
Yeah, man, I wanted to do the 311 thing, man. I really did.
No worries.
I was in. Where was I at? I was in Zion. I think I was in Zion National Park, and the service was just
no worries. So, are you in New Orleans right now?
In New Orleans right now. I'm here in the I'm in the Bywater, hanging out. Just got done with a run, actually. So
very nice.
Pumping.
Very nice. I got to tell you. So I'm in the Boston area, right?
Okay.
Right around where you guys have played in the Levitate Festival before.
Yep.
That's my neck of the woods. But I got to tell you, it was really weird. It was really strange to not have you and the Revivalists at the Chicken Box this summer. Like, it just was not the right feeling without a Chicken Box Revivalist show.
You're telling me, man. I feel you. I feel you. That's kind of like it's a bit like an unofficial vacation for us as well, just to go there and visit Packy and all of our friends that kind of ascend upon the island for the show and just for the summer,
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just one of those, it was a casualty of the situation, but yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Zach actually got a chance to him and his girlfriend Ann were up there for like 2 months this summer. So
oh, cool.
They got a little bit of that, but I didn't get a chance. I was super busy working on all this solo stuff.
Yeah, I was
So
just cranking Promised Land in the background.
yeah,
I'm loving
heck
these
yeah.
new solo tracks, man. They sound
You,
great.
dude, thank you, man. Yeah, we worked really hard on them. Worked on them for a while. It's crazy, man. Before all this stuff hit, it was like the band was gonna do this tour, and then we were gonna take a little break, and then I was gonna do this other, the solo project, and then we were gonna go back in and do more band stuff. And so it's thrown a bit of a wrench in things, but we're working with it. I'm just grateful that I have my health. All my loved ones are healthy, hanging in there. So I just been really looking for the silver linings through all this stuff. But yeah. So yeah, we've been working on it. We're working on the tunes. It's coming along good. I'm really stoked about the release. Yeah.
Well, that's I could tell, and I could tell they come from a really deep place for you so far. What does it feel like? I know you got two out now. What does it feel like, given this circumstance and the moment and everything you put into it? How is it feeling to have these out there now? Is it kind of surreal?
It feels really good. It feels really good for a lot of reasons. One of the main ones is like, it almost just felt like this like secret I was like having to keep, and I'm just like, that's just not my style. So like, just to have this out in the world and just people to know that this is a thing now, just feels like a weight off my chest. And for it to be received the way it was received, just let me know that I'm doing the right thing, and the folks are there to support me, because I was kind of getting in my head a little bit about it, about like, oh, what are the fans gonna think? I'm in this band, I'm doing this, and now I'm doing this. But it's like, to me, it's just like, it's just about the art. It's about creativity. It's about following your intuition and really just making sure that I'm being the truest to myself that I can possibly be, to make the art that I can make. So it's good. It's been a crazy process, though. It's wild.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I'm just learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about myself. I'm learning a lot about um just there is a lot to do. This is a lot to do.
Yeah.
With the band, I got a lot of people to kind of bounce things off of, and this person can do this person does that. Now it's just all me. So it's interesting, and I'm getting a taste of this life, which is cool. I'm growing in ways that I need to grow, I think. So it's good.
Well, it's quite inspiring and really well received. It always fascinates me when someone kind of steps out or branches out, is probably a better way to say it.
Yeah.
And you're in a group and you have new music that you're labeling solo material,
Yeah.
or you're trying something different. Like, from a songwriter's perspective, when you're writing these songs, is it something that's subconscious, or is it more like you wrote these songs and you're like, this doesn't really sound like Revivalist tunes, this will be my own thing? Like, how do you balance when you're writing a song, whether it's going to be your own material or for the group?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the songs that I write for the group, just came from just me, and I'll turn a demo in, and it's play the bass, play the drums, and it's not like it comes out verbatim what the group does, but sometimes it's pretty close. So it's tough. It's tough. It really is. But one of the things that's also one of the things that I'm learning about this process, like, what's going to be, what is better for this project? What's better for that project? What are the songs that are going to fit on an album that makes the album a cohesive unit and like one true artistic statement, as opposed to just like a conglomerate of songs, And I think that's something that our band is learning as well. Like, we're learning that as we go, because we're all just songwriters. We're all, I feel very fortunate and lucky that you know, we do have so many songwriters in the band, because a lot of times it's just that you know, that thing falls on, you know, a lot of times it's one guy, maybe two guys, not three or four, you know. So that's, you know, that's it's nice. But yeah, it's a tough thing, you know, because when I really sit down, it's like any song could be a Revivalist song, because we're not worried about doing any kind of style. We just, that's one of the things we said from the beginning. So I was just really kind of trying to focus on certain truths that I wanted to speak on, and certain things that were, you know, really, really just super tied to me for this project, you know. And not to say that, you know, band songs aren't, but, you know, now that I'm doing this, I'm thinking a little bit more about that. So yeah, it's definitely, it's still a process, and one that I'm learning.
I appreciate that. It seems really, it seems very therapeutic in a way, and it's very, you know, it's comforting, especially with what's going on, to hear music and artists speak their truth. I'm curious though, with the songs you've released, or the songs that are still to come, were any of them, or some, did you have them with you for a while, or any of them pretty much brand new tunes that you wrote over the past 8 months as a result of being in quarantine, being stuck somewhere, anything like that?
None of them are that new. None of them are within the last 8 months. Let me just think. Yeah, they're all, most of them are from this 1 to 2 year period.
Okay.
So it was most of them, I'll say. But yeah, you know, that's the thing. It's kind of funny. It's like when all this stuff hit, I had a bit of a creative boom. You know, it's just so like, you know, so I'm excited for, you know, the next stuff to come as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's really the cycle that I want to get into, is like being able to, you know, bring the best energy I can to each project. And with the band, you know, we had been rolling and just 12 years, you know, just like hitting it hard. So we kind of realized that we kind of needed to take a little bit of a break, go away from it for a little bit, have us miss it, have the fans miss it, come back, you know, with an album, a big tour, that whole thing. So yeah, it's interesting. It's good though.
Yeah, it's cool to have this, you know, for lack of a better term, in between, because I think people are really, obviously, people are craving live music and know that it's not going to happen, at least right now, in the form that you're used to, other than
Yeah.
concerts and stuff. But like, to have music that you can relate to emotionally right now, is, I think it's helping a lot of people. It's helping me for sure. And when you have artists that are able to step out and use their voice and connect, and obviously with election coming up and everything like that, you know, it helps a lot. When I was, you know, I was listening to, when I first heard Shaken, when you first released Shaken a few weeks ago, I listened to it like 10, 15 times in a row. Like, I was really
dude,
digging
hell yeah.
it. It's like James Brown.
It was one of those for you.
Yeah, I'll tell you why, because it had this like really cool James Brown vibe, and it was just soulful, and there was this concept that I was trying to figure out, which was, obviously I had saw a little bit about what it was about, what it meant to you to, you know, to embrace your fear.
Before you, I just real quick, just, I don't want to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
so that's, so I like, well, no, you know, go ahead. I'm just gonna have to remember that. Go ahead, keep going.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm either on the right path, or I'm
No,
you're
absolutely on the right path.
All right,
absolutely.
Cool. So what I was gonna say was, so I was trying to determine, like, this concept of shaken that you're talking about is, it's really interesting. It's fascinating because shaken is something, I think, just a word that everyone can relate to right now. Like, you know, it's a feeling that is so normal and happen to everybody, and probably still feel. But you're also saying, so I think you're being honest about that. But then what got me was how you're saying, I'm still standing here, and you just keep going on this. I'm still standing here. So it's kind of like this, both ends of the spectrum. And I was trying to figure out, like, are you shaking or are you standing strong? And then I was like, you know what? It's both.
I'm standing here. I might be shaking, but I'm still standing here.
Yeah,
You know, it basically it points towards courage, you know,
yeah,
having courage. And because there's no courage without fear. And that's the thing that's one of the things, you know, that is um, a cornerstone element, I think, of that song. You know, what I was kind of trying to portray is that, and also just show, like, you know, a more vulnerable side of myself. Because I think a lot of times people, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I think people see me, you know, as this like super, just like strong, like boisterous, like frontman guy, which that's a part of me, and that's the thing, that is the thing that I do. But it certainly wasn't always like that for me at all, you know. And I just, you know, it's just like, I just wanted to portray, like, just to show people that, like, you can grow and you can come from something to where you're just not feeling super comfortable and good about, you know, your situation. But all of those things that you go through, and all of those, just all of the stuff that kind of knocks you down, it really does make you stronger. And you know, I don't want to sound too cliche, but I mean, it's really true. And it's just so, you know, I just thought it was like, it's pretty true. Like, it, you know, the story in there, it's pretty true. It's not like verbatim, you know, because I just really wanted to touch on a few different things, but I really wanted to just show people that you can be somewhere and then get somewhere based on where you were because of what was going on.
yeah.
Because it's a direct correlation of that. You just got to keep in mind that, you know, you got it all inside. You got it in here. And you just got to, you know, those things that you do, when you are scared to do something, whatever it may be, when you go and face that fear, even if you fall flat on your face, because that happens, you know, you're going to grow from that experience. You're going to be out there, and you're going to be, you know, whatever, this might happen, or somebody's going to laugh at you, or this, that, you know, whatever. You're going to get a little bit stronger from that experience,
Mm-hmm.
and your skin's going to get a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
And then as you go, it becomes not a thing anymore. So I just wanted to kind of portray that a little bit.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. Well said there too on the description. I'm curious if that was what you were going to say before when I was introing.
So what I was going to say before was, you know, I've always kind of been I've been slightly reluctant to really reveal the actual meaning of certain songs.
Mm-hmm.
My management, my publicists are always pushing me. They're like, Dave, you know, they're like, this really, you know, it's like, what, this is, people want to hear this. And I'm like, okay, I get that for sure. I get that. But like the other side of that, and the side that I always kind of come back to a little bit, is that, like, I don't want to push my experience necessarily, you know, and kind of corral them into a certain kind of feeling, because I really, really, what I think is the most special part of the art is that people attach their own story to it. So they really kind of come inside of it. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be completely off. But my intuition tells me that, you know, sometimes it's good and sometimes that could be bad. So I just kind of, I want to tiptoe around, like, telling people exactly what's going on. With this one, it was a message that I just needed people to know, so I'm glad to get it out there. You know what I'm saying? But it's wild because I've been getting, it's wild. It's kind of, it's kind of, it gives me chill bumps thinking about it. I've been getting the same kind of like emails and stuff that I was starting to get with Wish when it came out. People connecting to the song in different ways that I had never even intended to. So it's really cool, and we're about to do something special with the song next week. We're about to have a little thing. So
Oh, awesome!
yeah,
Great. Well, I'll tell you what. That I appreciate you giving us a little peek behind the curtain as to where it came from, because that
absolutely.
I'll tell you, that happened to
Absolutely.
me. I mean, that that whole concept over the past few months of like, what am I doing? Or like, what,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what am I? You know, like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
have I done? What am I gonna do? And then, every once in a while you overcomplicate it, and then you simplify, and you
Oh
find
yeah.
your own truth or what you're going after. And especially
Yep.
if you're artistic, it's kind of a mad scientist world, and then you just stick with it, man.
You
So
gotta just stick with it.
even when people
You
are
know.
against you.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. You can't let the bullies win, man. Can't let the bullies win.
Yeah, and your video for it too is, I mean, your video is fantastic. It's a really powerful video, and I noticed right away. I noticed at the end in the credits, but that's supposed to be you as a kid, right? To some degree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I gotta tell. I just gotta come clean about something though.
Okay.
I did not have that kind of hair when I was a little kid. I really didn't. It was a decision that we kind of made. You know, I think we needed to do that. Obviously it just looks cool in the shower when you're doing stuff and whatever, but it was like we just needed to make that connection so people would know. But yeah.
Well, my favorite part was at the end where you kind of give the wink, like
Yeah.
your younger self and you like gave yourself the wink, like you did it, man. Like you did it. You're still standing here, you know.
Yeah.
So really, really powerful video for Shaken. And then Promised Land, I don't know if you call it the B-side or whatever, but the second single, Promised Land, obviously speaks to a lot of truths right now too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what got me in that song were the opening lyrics of the second verse. They say work real hard and it all works out from the penthouse suite in the spot uptown.
Yeah.
I can hear the sound of the footsteps coming, and then here's my favorite line. Yeah, but they can't hurt me if I don't feel nothing.
Yeah.
Dude, that is a one hell of a verse right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's wild, man. I mean, well, I guess these songs, that song could have been written, this stuff, this is nothing new, as you know. But it's wild that it's like, these are the things that you just can't even, it's just like, whoa, like what is going on? Like what, I don't know. It's just, it's one of those songs that just kind of gets in there. And yeah, we just wanted to, portray something about, the haves and the have-nots. And there's a lot of have-nots, in this world and going on in this country for a lot of reasons that are just straight up wrong.
Yeah.
And, that song is, hopefully not, just going to be an amplifier for, the voice of change, the voice of justice, the voice of the people. I don't know. Yeah. It's, it's hard, man. My heart goes out to, all my black and brown friends, man. Like I just couldn't imagine, walking around and feeling some of the things that they have to feel on a daily basis.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, me too. I hear you.
Yeah.
It's
I think it's, and I would say, I think it's really on us, the ones with the privilege to change it, you know, and to do the work and to really get out there and to speak out against racism, even if it's at the dinner table, it doesn't matter, just have those hard conversations with, whoever it may be, so.
Yeah.
Got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it. And as tough as it is right now to deal with some of the circumstances, there's a way to look at it, which is like, all right, well, now's the opportunity to do something about it. Like maybe there have been opportunities in the past, but now people are not backing down. This is enough. Like this.
If you don't come with it now, I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So it's cool to have, again, like to have the voice of artists such as you and you guys to empower people, and to remind, sometimes it's reminders. And I was watching, I loved that Democracy Now! Stream.
Democracy Comes Alive. Yeah.
Democracy Comes Alive.
Yeah.
And I loved that. That was a really powerful little festival or whatever.
Yeah. Seriously.
And I noticed, well, there was a lot of artists who had some really strong messages in that. But one of the things too is the way that the songs were delivered by the people that were performing them. Like you could see it in their face, and you could see how much the song that they picked paired with the moment.
Yes.
And for you, when you were playing Promised Land, I was curious because it was really cool showing you playing all those instruments.
Yeah.
And when I was listening to the two songs, I noticed like, oh, there's a lot of cool instrumentation here. There's some keyboards. I think there's some slide guitar, maybe some B3 or something. Did you play all the instruments?
I'm so glad you asked. So on the record, absolutely not. I assembled some of my best friends, honestly, which is so cool and crazy to say, but to play with me on the record. I've got PJ Howard. He's also in the band, Revivalists.
Yep.
He's on drums. I got my man Mike Starr on the bass, who is in I'm not sure if you've heard of this dude, but he's a killer. He's also the keyboard player on the album.
Okay.
Oregon. His name is Neil Francis.
Yeah, it rings a bell. I can't.
You've heard him? He just put a record out. Killer. I mean, the guy is just is a freaking wizard, man.
Okay.
Great songwriter. He's he's like, I feel like he's like the freaking, I don't know, Leon Russell of our time or something. Like he's just got it going on. And then a guy who I actually wrote Promised Land with, Chris Gelbuta,
Okay.
who is a monster songwriter, monster multi-instrumentalist. The guy is just a super talented guy. I mean, just awesome. And one of the funniest dudes just to be around. So yeah, man. So they really, really helped me bring the songs to life in a way that was, I don't know, for lack of a better word, just cool, man. They just know, they just know how to make a song feel a certain way. And, how's the swing need to be? Does it need to be straight up? How does it need to kind of flow? And yeah, we just worked really well in the studio together. It was, I told him kind of like, the whole overarching theme of, how how I wanted the studio sessions to go was I just really wanted the vibe. Yeah. It really just had to be all about the fun. Like, that's really what this project is about. I mean, it was like, if it's not fun, we'll hang it up for the day. We're just if the energy's off, we're just gonna, all right, whatever, call it a day. But it never happened. That never happened. It was always just like best energy, killing the performances. I'll tell you one kind of funny thing. The only time that it got a little funky was when I was not, I don't know what it was going on. I think it was maybe my headphone mix or whatever. We're tracking Shaking live in the studio. Everybody's just killing it. I'm just not. I'm just not. And I'm like, all right, you guys, I've got to collect myself here. I got to get out of my own head, because that's the thing that happens. It's like you get inside your head and you start thinking about every little thing, and what happens is you start affecting it. You start affecting it with your mind, and that is the worst thing. You don't want to affect it at all. You want to just feel it and just bleh it out. That's just how it's got to be. And so I just realized, I was like, all right, I got to step out of this. I got to get out. So I left the room, and these dudes cut the song while I was out. And that was what we used. That was what I ended up tracking to. I was like, all right, you guys just taught me something right here. Maybe, it's like, and that's honestly, man, that's the type of leader that I want to be. I want to be the type of guy that's like, you know what? Okay. Looking around, what's the problem? Well, maybe I'm the problem. I got to get out of here. So, that was a really good, good thing, to like, just learn, and just to feel like, man, this dude just, all right, I'm just going to get out of the room here, get out of your guys' way, because you guys got this. I might have wrote the song, but you guys are playing it. Like, yeah, let's go. So yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. That's a great
That was
story.
interesting.
It's good. It shows how natural it is. It comes, and you can tell it. Like there's such a feel to it. Like sometimes I'll listen to the music and I'll feel like I'll start dancing or bobbing my head. There'll be other times I'm like, oh, I got to write that lyric down. I love that lyric. Like there's so many different feelings going on. So it's cool to hear you share that.
Yeah,
I know a lot of your intent and a lot of your efforts have been towards self-care, like the concept of self-care, being healthy mentally, physically. You're really open about it on your Instagram and social media. You share some stuff about it. Obviously, the music demonstrates that. I'm curious. I'm really into that now too, to some degree.
Cool.
I want to get more into it, but I feel like the past 8 months, it's your job to be focused on self-care. Everyone's job, but I'm curious, like, what is a day in the life for you like now in terms of like self-care? Is there a routine that you go through that is imperative to?
There is. And I kind of ebb and flow, I'm only human. So there's, I get on the horse and I ride it. I'm going good. And then something will happen. I'll kind of fall off and I'll do this. The one thing I got to say is I gotta break this vice. This is the one vice I got to break because it is just not good. It's not good. I can tell there's just too much sugar, blah, blah, blah. But
it looks good though.
It is. It's good. I think I got to say. But so when I'm on the horse and I'm riding it well, this is the situation. Get up in the morning. Probably I'll have a green tea. I will exercise some form. It will be either I'll go, run a couple miles, or I'll hit the free weights, or I'll hit the bands, or I'll really just work on the core. It's interesting. I haven't been doing a ton of yoga, and I really think that my body and my mind is telling me that I kind of need to focus a little bit more back into that, because I think I was getting some benefits from that I'm not necessarily getting from just running and these other things. But I really love the community of yoga and just going to the class and being in the thing. So that's another thing that COVID has kind of taken away. But sorry, that was a little tangent. But so little exercise, come back, shower, finish the shower with like a bit, just like 2 minutes of cold. I don't know if you've heard of a guy, Wim Hof.
Yeah.
So I've been all about that, and it really, I was getting right in the beginning of quarantine, I was getting nuts with it. I was like filling the bathtub up with ice. And it was interesting. I was trying to, so that was really, it's what I've learned about that. And he has some breathing techniques too, is that it kind of like, it changes neural pathways in your brain, and it kind of acts as like anxiety training kind of a thing, where you're not gonna love this cold at all for the first week. You're gonna absolutely just hate it, but you have to breathe through it. And then I'm gonna tell you, I swear it is so crazy. At a certain point, now everybody's different, so I can't tell you when this is gonna happen, but it will happen. You will begin to crave the cold, which is so wild. And that's the thing that like that's the unexplainable part about the cold therapy thing. So, and I'm still kind of in it and ebb and flowing with that as well. And then, man, I gotta say, I try to eat as many vegetables, and this and that, and stay healthy on that. In the beginning, I was really, we were just cooking everything at home. It was all fresh, that was good. That was really good. I was noticing a difference, honestly. Now I'm noticing, I'm starting to kind of eat out a little more here and there. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I need to continue to this, buying stuff, you know, buying just the freshest of the fresh and cooking it that day. There's definitely something to that, you know, for sure. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing. I'm not doing anything that, you know, anybody else is, other than like the cold showers. I mean, when I mention that, people are like, you know, they're either like,
Uh-oh. We're paused. Hold on a second. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. David, come back. He'll be right back. I think he'll be right back. Unless his phone died, then maybe not. But it paused for a second, and that's what you get when you do interviews like this through Instagram Live. And I don't mind that. I like it. This is live, and it's through iPhones, and that's it. Oh, here he is. He's back. And we're
sorry about that.
No worries.
So I gotta tell you what happened was, my phone didn't die. I see some people on there going, he's notorious for his phone dying, which is true. 100% true. I am definitely notorious for that, but I can't blame it on that this time. It overheated.
Oh.
My phone was, I don't think it was liking the talk about the cryotherapy.
It's going the other way.
It's going the other way.
Nice.
So yeah. But yeah, no, I was where was I at? I was talking about yeah, I was just, you know, nutrition. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've been, you know, I've really had to kind of focus on that. Also, I mean, honestly, this solo project was also kind of about that, because I kind of realized that I just kind of needed to do something for myself. Like, and I just realized that, like, I'm just such a giver. And I can lose myself in that story. Mm-hmm. And, you know, just because I want to, you know, I'm a people pleaser. I want to do that. I want to, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, everybody's good and this and that and this and that. But now, you know, through, you know, honestly, years of just talking to a therapist, I don't, you know, every week, you know, I've grown a ton, and just realized that if you don't fill you up, you're not going to have the proper energy to give to the world, give to your friends, give to your family, give to your girlfriend. And if you're just constantly depleting yourself, it's you know, there's no salvation in that. There's no, you know, so it's like, this has been a long road, long time coming. So but yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, and I'm staying in the fight to kind of, you know, get these do all the right things, you know, for my body and my, you know, my heart and my mind.
That's great, man, and it's really commendable and inspiring. And you mentioned being a giver, and I've noticed that always about you and the group, and the outreach that you guys do, and even something like Rev Causes, which is such a you know, it's such a powerful initiative, and the impacts that you've had through the different, you know, philanthropy efforts and charitable causes you guys have reached out to. is just, it's awesome. I'm wondering, like, does that play into what we're talking about too, in terms of your self-care and having to give back and seeing the platform
Absolutely.
that you guys have? Any stories from that like really stick with you?
Sorry, phone didn't overheat
We
again.
weren't even talking about ice baths.
That was just my that was my phone going, your time is up on social media today. Yeah, we gotta put in those little ticks for ourselves, so we don't get out of control.
I do it too.
Because I don't know if you've seen that show on Netflix. What is it called? The Social Dilemma.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I've heard about it. It's on my list to check out.
I would definitely definitely check it out.
Yeah.
That's a tangent. I just think that it's talking about rev causes. I just think we are in a place in our careers where we're able to do this, and it just it just fills you up, when you're out there. I mean, I don't know, we kind of got together and we were just like, what are some of the organizations that we're gonna want to be a catalyst for, be a conduit for, to help them do what they do. And we kind of came across a few. I gotta say, one of the best stories and just heartwarming things that kind of occurred was we work with this group not group, well, I guess you could say it called a group, songs for kids. And this dude, man, he just does so much for these kids. And these kids basically, they either have some kind of terminal illness or some kind of situation that kind of prevents them from just being a normal kid, and it's just like, some of these situations are just heartbreaking. But this organization just really, they create some amazing things for these kids. And one of the things that he does, he brings bands in, he brings groups in, and gets, the kids get to play with the groups. So it's just like so cool, man. And one time we were there, they learned one of our songs.
Oh, wow.
They learned one of our songs. And I mean, and then we played it with them. Like, one of their kids was on the drums. One of their kids was on a guitar. He took a solo and it was like killer. I'm like, God, you guys, but it was just, so it's just those types of things and those types of interactions that it's just like, why wouldn't we do this kind of stuff? So it's good.
Priceless. That's awesome. That's a cool story. It's very inspiring effort and initiative on your part. So thanks for all you guys do and sharing about it.
Absolutely.
I'll let you go here in a second, and I got to just tell you something real funny quickly. I had Andy Frasco on a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
love Andy.
Such a funny dude. He's great. We had such a fun and funny conversation, and I was telling him that when this whole interview concept shifted a little bit over the past 8 months, and I was starting to do a lot of live stuff and, instead of over the phone, I was thinking a lot about your interview with him, your podcast interview with him. I thought it was so fun and engaging, and it was like, I don't know, maybe you were like in your backyard or something. You can hear the pool water splashing. I'm like, that's how it's gotta be. We were in my pool with somebody, like you're in their yard, and you're just chilling and having a conversation. It makes it the most authentic, and people connect with that. So we were talking a little bit about that.
Yeah, man, that was a good one. He's a great interviewer. He's got great questions, and he kind of, he pulls it out of you. It's crazy. I had never really told anybody the full story of my sobriety or anything like that before that. But and I wasn't even honestly planning on that, I wasn't
really?
planning on doing it. And it just kind of I don't know. It just happened, I'm glad, I'm glad people know now. But so yeah, Andy's a great guy. Love Andy.
Yeah.
So many people. I mean, he's just, he's cherished by a lot of people. For a lot of, that dude's great.
Yeah, it was a blast. The other thing I got to mention real quick too is a few months ago you shared a version of Hunger Strike of you playing it on, I think, on the acoustic, and you told a little story about how much that song and those groups meant to you, which is the same for me. And I didn't know that. That never came up in any of our previous conversations. So I have to tell you how much I dug and appreciated that rendition of Hunger Strike. One of my favorite songs.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that was I started learning it, because like I was doing these covers, covers on Instagram. Just people were kind of like, I was asking people to like, pick a song, do this, they were throwing them out there. And that was one that like kept coming back. And obviously that's man, Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and Eddie and Chris are just, those are the guys that I look up to for for vocals. They've got that belting voice, that high thing, where when you're up on the edge of it, it kind of breaks up, and that's it's like that Fogerty kind of thing. And that's what I always just before I had any kind of strength in my voice or whatever, but when I was just singing like this, that was what I was listening to. I was going, man, if I can only do that. How do they do that? What's going on? So yeah, that was that song was a challenge. It was a challenge, and it's man, I gotta say, Chris Cornell he's a freak of nature. He was a freak of nature, man, and gosh, to be able to just, I just picture, it's crazy. I just picture how the vocal cord is just like it's like a band. It's basically like a rubber band.
Mm-hmm.
His were just different. They were like, it's just like thick, but also like the most stretchy. I don't know. And it's so weird for me to like, because like, I just know the anatomy of the voice box, you know what I'm saying? So like, the guy he just had this extraordinary anatomy there. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing.
Yeah. His voice was a total instrument. Legend.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, that was
I
really,
really
I had to bring that up.
I'm glad you dug that, man.
I
worked hard on that.
I could tell.
Hard. I was like, that was not easy.
I'm sure I wouldn't even dare. And I appreciated how you told the little backstory in the beginning. That was pretty touching. So I'll let you go. Last thing that we got a few questions on before you go is what's coming up. I know obviously the full release in 2021 of the record. Who knows what lies ahead in terms of normal tour dates? But do you? In addition to the full release next year, do you foresee any potential solo dates or touring on the record?
Yeah,
cool.
I think we're definitely going to do some solo dates. Not exactly sure how it's all going to, kind of come about. But yeah, it's going to be some band touring, some solo touring. Going to kind of do a little flip flop. I don't exactly know how much, honestly, of either really. We're just going to have to play it by ear just because the situation right now, with the concert business is so, for lack of a better word, effed up. So yeah, we're just gonna have to figure it out.
Cool. Well, looking forward to it for sure, and obviously the full release. And in the meantime, we got 2 great tracks to dig into. So, David, I always look forward to us talking, and I always really love the opportunity to interview you and chatting with you, man. So, thanks so much for taking the time today and for hanging with Artist Waves on a Friday. This was great.
Dude, absolutely, man. Love you, brother. This was great. Seriously. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Right back at you. And thanks again. We'll have to catch a show. I'll have to catch a show next time you're here.
Absolutely. That's gonna happen.
I'll be there. Right on.
Cool, man.
Thanks, man. Have a great
All right.
weekend and congrats on everything. Peace.
Appreciate it. Take it easy. Peace.
You too. All right, David Shaw. Always love talking with David. That was a blast. So thanks everyone for checking in. A lot of hearts flying, especially when we were talking about hunger strike there. A lot of hearts flying up, and I hear you. If I could be pushing the hearts and talking at the same time when he was talking about hunger strike, I would have done it too. So thanks so much for the engagement. Friday afternoon, that's it. We're approaching happy hour. It's probably 5 o'clock, I guess, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So that's good enough for me. Thanks again. AW Live. We have some cool guests coming up. Mason Jennings, I believe. A really great photographer named Jen Rosenstein out of Los Angeles, and a couple of other things that I'll be sharing soon. So thank you. David Shaw from the Revivalists. Solo material is called Shaken and Promised Land. Great songs, and always a blast speaking with David. He's such a down-to-earth guy. So thanks again, David. Thank you all, and have a great weekend. See you next time.